In the summer of 2009, an historic agreement was struck to save millions of children from a deadly disease.
Each year, pneumonia kills more children than HIV, TB and malaria put together.
The vast majority of victims are in the developing world, where there's no money to pay pharmaceutical companies for a vaccine. Now the international community has agreed to fund a vaccine to prevent such tragedies in the world's poorest nations. 5 nations and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation agreed to pay $1.5 billion in the hope of saving up to 7 million lives. For the past 2 years, the GAVI Alliance has been working with donor governments to provide a pneumococcal vaccine for the developing world. They came up with a plan known as the Advanced Market Commitment, or AMC. It's designed to guarantee pharmaceutical companies a market for the vaccine in poorer countries. Rwanda, a country just emerging from a tragic recent past. The Rwandan Minister of Health is presiding over a ceremony to mark the introduction of a vaccine to prevent pneumococcal disease.
Pneumonia is a leading cause of death among under 5s in our country, accounting to over 25% of all infant deaths. We, as a government, are determined to make sure that children attain their 5th birthday, their 10th birthday, their 40th birthday.
The project was launched by the Rwandan government and GAVI, an alliance of international organizations, countries and companies dedicated to spreading the benefits of vaccines and immunization.
Today is a historic moment because today, with the access to pneumococcal vaccines that's been given to Rwandan children, we're going to begin the first program through the GAVI Alliance to prevent this important disease in low-income countries.
Without a vaccination, doctors rely on increasingly ineffective antibiotics to treat the illness. Pneumococcal disease kills 1.6 million people every year, and nearly 1 million are children under 5. The need for a vaccine is much greater in the developing world, where more than 98% of fatal cases occur. But it's up to the pharmaceutical industry to develop vaccines at substantial cost. The industry historically has sold its goods to those countries who can pay the most.
In order to recoup hundreds of millions of dollars that the drug companies have put into developing these products, they've tended to focus therefore on maximizing the returns, having high prices, concentrating on the large developed markets. The AMC is essentially designed as a financial incentive to vaccine manufacturers to say, if you develop vaccines that are relevant to those in the developing world, to the world's poorest, there will be a market for those products. So you don't have to worry that you'll spend tens or maybe hundreds of millions of dollars developing something and then find that none of these poorer countries are willing or able to pay for them.
Historically, developing countries have had to wait 15 to 20 years for prices to fall after R&D costs have been recouped before they can afford to provide vaccines for their children.
I'm a parent. I got 2 daughters. They both got pneumococcal vaccine. Why should children who are just happen to be born in an African country be denied access to a life-saving vaccine?
The architects of the AMC reckon they're tackling the world's most immediately pressing cause.
If we have a serious, common and preventable disease, shouldn't that be at the top of our to-do list in global health?
With funds secured, the process of inviting pharmaceutical companies to bid for contracts under the AMC has begun. It was crucial to set up competition between the companies.
And you absolutely need competition in this world, whether it's drugs or vaccines or soap powder, in order to get the best product and to get it at the best price.
So how has the pharmaceutical industry responded to the challenges and opportunities?
All of the big companies have started saying that we can and we should morally and economically make medicines available more affordably to the poor, and in the process we can make some money, we can make this sustainable, but above all, many more patients can benefit.
We're seeing a number of applications, which is fantastic, both from the multinational companies and also from emerging market companies, which is very healthy.
Under the AMC, GAVI will sign 10-year deals, paying $7 per shot for the first 20% of vaccinations provided. This will allow the companies to recoup the cost of new factories and manufacturing equipment. After that, the price falls to $3.50 for the rest of the contract.
Once those research and development costs have been absorbed, that vaccine is provided to the poorest countries of the world as at near to production cost as is technically feasible.
The AMC will lead ultimately to the vaccination of 1 billion children, saving 7 million lives by the year 2030. And that's not all.
If this model works, it should be applied to other vaccines for other diseases. Potentially, this could be saving millions of lives now affected by tuberculosis, by malaria.
The hope is that the AMC will ensure that children like these will grow up to fulfill all their dreams and ambitions.
What else? What else does somebody want to be when they grow up? A nurse? A lot of doctors and nurses. Really? Doctors? Nobody wants to be a football player. Oh, okay. All right.